Colossians. The whole letter? Yeah. Great, I said. How many weeks do I get? No, it doesn't work that way, kid. Anything you want from Colossians. Oh, okay. So I go to Papa. They said, anything you want from Colossians. He says, what do you know about Colossians? Well, Paul wrote it to the church there to address some false teaching. No, Nance, no. What do you think when you hear Colossians? What's the first thing? First thing. Christ in you, the hope of glory. Start there, he said. And so we do. With Colossians 1:27. Christ in you, the hope of glory. I believe it is this reality that Buechner was talking about when he said, Jesus made possible not just a new way of understanding, but a new way of living it. He said, I am the Father, and the Father is in me. The words I say to you then are not just my own. Rather, the Father living in me, who is carrying out his work. The Father gives me all these things to do and say. I do exactly what the Father has commanded me. I don't do a solitary thing on my own. I listen, then I decide. For I am not out to get my own way, only to carry out orders. So Jesus is making it very clear here what's going on. He has put the Father in charge of his life. The Father's the boss. He calls the shots. Paul said it like this. Jesus had equal status with God, yet he set aside his deity to take on the status of servant. So we see Jesus living this supernatural, intimate relationship with the Father, always hearing him, always obeying. This is the life that Jesus models for us because it's the life he wants for us. Walk with me. Work with me. Watch how I do it. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me. You will learn to live freely and lightly. Get in the yoke with me, for I am about my Father's business, and I'm willing to go over it line by line with anyone willing to listen. As the Father is in me, I am in him, and we will be in you. I am sending the Holy Spirit. He will live with you and be in you. Do you hear what Jesus is offering? Do we really understand what is being made available to us? The same supernatural reality that Jesus lived his life in is being offered to us. If anyone loves me, he will obey my teaching. The Father will love him, and we will come to him, and we will make our home in him. Guys, this is an unbelievable offer. The perfect trifecta of Father, Son, and Spirit is a supernatural reality in us. And you know why? It gets better. Joy. I have told you these things for a purpose, Jesus. My joy will be your joy. And your joy, wholly mature. Now, the joy Jesus talks about here isn't ha-ha, happiness, la-la. No, Jesus is talking about what Dallas Willard calls deep, prevailing sense of well-being that Jesus obviously lived his life in. I mean, the followers of Jesus saw a man live an anxiety-free, completely secure, utterly selfless life in God. I mean, this is the guy that faced down Satan in the wilderness. This is the guy that slept like a baby in a storm-tossed boat when everybody around him was screaming, "We're all going to die." This is the guy who walked through a crowd of people who held the stones in their hand to kill him. And another time, through another crowd who had dragged him to a cliff to throw him off. This is the Jesus who faced every adversary seen and unseen to take that hill called Calvary for us. It is this Jesus that taught Paul to say, perplexed, but not despairing, struck down, not destroyed. He's the one who taught Horatio Spafford to say, "It is well with my soul." Jesus was a man who trusted so much in the Father's plan for his life that his only desire was to carry it out down to the last detail. It is this joy. It is this same prevailing sense of well-being in the Father's love and care and plan and provision for us and our lives that Jesus wants us to have, so that we don't have to worry about us. Guys, we don't even have to think about us. And we can be totally free to just be with Jesus. And thereby glorify our Father who is in heaven. Here's the glory part. Jesus prayed, "Father, I have glorified you on earth by accomplishing down to the last detail everything you assigned me to do. I give them, my followers, the glory you gave me." So we get in on this new way of living by doing what Jesus did. He put the Father in charge of him. We put Jesus in charge of us. Christ in me, in charge of me. Now, when I was a child, I spake as a child. One of my favorite spakings was, "You're not the boss on me." And that was the unfortunate truth of my life for many, many years. 14 of those years as a believer, and several, I am ashamed to admit, as a vocational minister. But on a dark, restless July night, Jesus challenged me to exchange my life for his life. He said, "Nancy, you are so much like my platesman and Martha. So busy, so anxious about so many things, when only a few things are necessary. Really, just one." And Mary chose that. She chose to keep company with me and learn to live freely, lightly. Sounds pretty good right about now, doesn't it? I had to admit that it did. Sounded good enough to try. So I took stock of my life. I started breaking plates. Yay. Yeah. I started not working for Jesus to be with Jesus. I carved out time to practice being quiet, just getting still, so that I could listen. I started to journal, because that journaling kind of helped me get to that place of stillness and quiet that monkey mind and just get to that silence. I turned my van into a holy place. No CDs, no radios, nothing. I pictured Jesus sitting shotgun in a red flannel shirt. I still do. Only now he's in cotton. I mean, he and I, we were doing the Bluetooth thing long before it was ever possible. I disciplined myself to make every red light redirect my mind to Jesus. I started spending time with people who were already living this life, in books and in person. Sometimes, I took a Jesus day from work, even if I could just get a half day, even if I had to get a babysitter. And I just practiced being present to Jesus every minute of that day. I did what Paul told the Colossians to do. Get rid of distractions, diversions. Shut off the technology. Shut it down. Anytime I could. If I had to wait for someone or something, I tried to turn it into worship. And guys, Jesus started showing up. Everywhere I was, all the places I lived. Jesus started teaching me in parking lots, the DMV, library, bathroom stall, shower, walking on the golf course, the sidelines of the soccer game, in conversations with people, everywhere. As I did anything and everything I could to be that sheep that Jesus talks about, hears his voice, maybe knows. Slowly, like sugar, he has transformed my life until it is less and less about me and more about him. And you know those few necessary things? He tells me what they are. I find out what they are by doing the one necessary thing. Keep company with him. And here's something really cool. The few necessary things that he gives me to do, I have found out he has prepared and positioned me for. So remember that promise, I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you? It's true. It's true. So it's less and less about me and mine, and more about him and his joyous, God-glorifying life. Now God does and can use people all the time to glorify himself. He uses events, circumstances, movements, all different things to glorify himself. But you know, so many times we don't really know what he's doing. We aren't really aware of how he's using people, even ourselves. The fun, the joy, the real adventure of this new way of living is when he lets you in on what he is doing and he gives you a piece of it. Remember what he told the disciples in the upper room? No longer do I call you servants. Because the servant doesn't know what his master is up to. The servant just takes orders. They don't know why they're doing what they do. They don't have the context for what they're doing, what they do. But Jesus said, I call